afraid it's so hot that everyone would go home and other discussions about procedure would happen. We wouldn't get to ask our questions, so I got a little...
Did you have a question?
I do. I do. And for the record, I'm flattered that my name was on your invitation to a lot of your supporters to come, just little old me and an email I sent out. You know, I'm just a nobody. And I was hoping that you would address some of those issues brought up in the email and maybe some of those points you touched on, but let it be said that my question doesn't have to do with me. Louder. What?
You have a question, right?
I have a question.
Okay.
Repeat the question.
You love the founding fathers and the sacred documents that established this country. We all do. The 5 words in the first line of the Declaration of Independence that we can all quote is that we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. Very quickly, 5 words repeated in Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address and at other pivotal moments in American history. I want to ask you, what about your record as a legislature, at the legislature, reflects that notion that all men are created equal?
Everybody, I fight for the Equal Protection Clause. The laws are applied evenly and fairly. We're a nation of laws. If you drive intoxicated, you go to jail, not the guy behind you who's also driving. There are laws. We're a nation of laws. Every day I fight. I've been given the award by the Gold Royal Institute as the #1 legislator in defense of liberty, to stop the encroachment of government on liberty. You know, I've been given them again. David Royce, the Freedom Award for my defense of freedom and the constitutional values. Colleen, I do value this country more than anybody probably knows. I have such a love for those founding principles. I read about our founding fathers. I think I know the real George Washington, the real Thomas Jefferson, the real Benjamin Franklin, the real Thomas Paine, even Thomas Prince, the minister of the Old South Church in Boston. I'm familiar with the miracles that happened, miracle after miracle. And if anybody knows that history and watched that, starting from this little ragtag army made up of congregations led by ministers, took on the most powerful army and navy in the world, how could you not know that God had his hand in making America? But in that, when our founders put this together, and I believe divinely inspired, they set into place also a nation that had boundaries and limits and laws. And those laws are to be honored. You don't have a right to break them. I don't have a right to break them. And we are a nation of laws. I take an oath of office where I swear before God and my constituents to uphold the laws of this land and the Constitution. I do that. Now, only good people can disagree. They get vegetables wrong. But I do what I know to be right. I'm prayerful to my commitment. I read the Constitution. I'm faithful to my duties. Now, can I make mistakes? Absolutely. Can I vote for a bill that good people disagree on? Absolutely. But I do what I say I'm going to do, and I keep my word, and I do what I honestly believe I need to do. Now, in retrospect, are there things you would do different? I don't know. Everybody in life would change a few things in their life, and they had the chance to do that. But we don't. But I go forward with vigilance. Let me tell you a quick story, because I know we're going with some of this. And I look at the damage. You know what's happened since we've been enforced our immigration laws? We've saved lives. You know homicides are down 50% in Phoenix. You know violent crime is down 3 times in Arizona and lowest nationally. You know we have 50,000 fewer students in K-12, $500 million a year in savings in Washington, I understand. For the first time in the history of the state of Arizona, we have a declining prison population. For the first time in the history of this state, a declining prison population, jail population. But you know what that means? I mean, we normally go 70 to 140 inmates a month. Yeah. We're down 500 inmates from the last year. That means less victims. That means less crime. That means somebody's able, and again, our #1 duty is public safety. Our #1 duty. Now, are there good people? I can tell you I've arrested people for DUI. They're really wonderful people. But they're driving impaired. You know, and again, I tell them, we must enforce our laws with compassion and without apology. And that I will continue to do.